Jaws. Sandcrawler. Okay.
Yo, what's wrong with you, junk dog?
I just watched episode 2 or chapter 2 of The Mandalorian.
Yo, dog, I ain't watched it yet. No spoilers, man. No spoilers.
It's everything I dreamed of with Star Wars when I was a kid. It was like watching what I played in my head on television.
Well, Larry did tell me the episode was wickety whack, like a chicken bone on a biscuit.
You're right, Gangster Chewbacca. It was wickety whack, if that means it was good. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman. I'm coming back at you with a whole new video. What are we going to talk about today? Well, what do you think? We're going to talk about Chapter 2 of The Mandalorian. Now, I was going to wait till Saturday to do this, and I actually was going to do another video today, but I just watched it. And I was like, I can't sit here and do another video to tell you something about a toy with this up here on my mind. Chapter 2. Now, this, I didn't say last time was a spoiler, and some of you commented saying, hey, what's the deal? Clicked on it, it was a spoiler. Well, sometimes you have to police yourself. If you're not going to watch The Mandalorian, but you're going to watch videos about it, then expect to be spoiled, unless it says non-spoiler. Just assume everything's a spoiler. But for those that like to watch reviews or people talk about a show before they see it and get upset that it's spoilers, spoilers. This will be spoilers. I don't even know where to start. I loved episode 1. I loved chapter 1, I should say. But this one, man, it was fun. Now, that's something I've learned about this show already, 2 in. We're not going to get hour episodes. These are about 30 to 40 minutes long, and they're just little stories. And that's what I love about it. It's almost like watching a live-action animated television show. Sure, there'll be one major theme throughout the whole series, but it looks like each episode, each chapter will have its own little story combined into that. And I think that's great. That makes it better when you go back to rewatch these. You can say, hey, let me watch the one about the Sandcrawler and the Jawas, or let me go back and watch this one about that one, instead of being one continuous story where it's hard to just jump in an episode here and there. Now, if you told me that was their plan to start with, it might have concerned me, but it's really turned out great. Like I said, it's like an animated series, but live action. Also reminds me a lot of a comic book. Now, where do we start? I don't know. So I'm going to pull up Disney Plus right here so we can watch a little bit of it and kind of comment on it. First, we hadn't really talked about this last time. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. And that's that new Star Wars logo thing at the beginning of The Mandalorian where it shows a bunch of droids, I think Darth Vader, and lights flashing around them, and then it says Star Wars. It's really cool. I really enjoy that. Let's see here. So I'm just going to look at the episode. That way I don't forget to talk about something. It starts off with the Mandalorian walking through this cave-like thing. It looks like he's on Tatooine, but there's a lot of desert planets in Star Wars, so who knows what it is. But he's walking around. He's got a little baby Yoda. I know people's upset. Hey, it's not baby Yoda. It's a baby that's the same species as Yoda. And everybody calls him baby Yoda, and there's some people that's grumpy and likes to complain about stuff, gets upset about that. Well, we don't know the species name, so we all call it baby Yoda. So we'll just say baby Yoda. It's a lot simple. So he's walking through this cave thing where he gets attacked by some other bounty hunters that look like Bossk. It looks like the alien Bossk. Now, I'm not really great on spotting aliens, but they look like the same aliens that are Bossk. And we all know Bossk from The Empire Strikes Back. Well, the Mandalorian is walking through this cave-like thing, and he gets attacked by these 2 Bossk creatures, and it's awesome. And they fight each other and everything. And it seems that they got a tracker also. I don't know if they're tracking the Mandalorian, but I'm guessing they're tracking the baby Yoda also. So it looks like some other people put bounties out for this thing, or the guy just hired a bunch of them to find it. So I'm sure we're going to run into a lot of bounty hunters throughout these 8 episodes. Here, the fighting looks excellent. It's not like when I went to see that new Terminator movie. Never have that money back. Where it looked like 2 CGI cartoons fighting each other. This looks like 2 people fighting. I don't think there's much CGI here. Maybe a little bit added, but it's mostly, well, I think it's mostly just someone dressed up in a boss outfit fighting the Mandalorian. It looks really great. And we actually see the Mandalorian kill one of these guys, and he evaporates. He blows up. I don't know what happens to him. He just shits him with a laser beam. I don't think we've ever seen it in Star Wars. We've seen people get hit by laser beams and, get a burnt chest and fall on the ground and everything. But this guy just evaporates or just goes away. It's pretty cool. And the whole time, who's watching the Mandalorian fight these guys? No. It's not Aunt Peru. It's Baby Yoda. He's just sitting there in his little egg thing, looking back, trying to take a nap, watching the Mandalorian fight these other guys. And I think the Baby Yoda kind of senses that the Mandalorian's kind of a good guy. Sure, he does bad things. He's a bounty hunter, but deep in his heart and his soul, he is a good character. We then get to a scene where the Mandalorian is hurt. He's got scratches on his arm, a cut or something right here. And Baby Yoda keeps crying out of his little ball thing to go touch it or look at it closer. I don't know. I thought he was going to do some kind of magic healing or something to make it go away. You know, kind of like Paul from that movie. Paul, I think the name of it is. What's that alien movie with Seth Rogen? Was that called Paul? Where he can rub his hands together and make a bird come back alive. I thought he was going to do that and make the room go away. And I was going, okay, that's a little different. We hadn't seen that in Star Wars. But the Mandalorian keeps getting him, putting him back in his little crib. He gets out again. Mandalorian puts him back in his crib and shuts the top of it. It's kind of funny, and it's not done. What I hate is that Marvel humor, and it's kind of what I hated about The Last Jedi. Although I did like The Last Jedi, I really hated some of the humor in it. It didn't feel like Star Wars humor that much, some of them, and that's, to me, it felt like that cheesy dad humor that Marvel does. But in this show, the humor so far works really well. It's the humor that's in Star Wars. I mean, if you go back and watch The Empire Strikes Back, there's some really funny moments in it, especially between Han Solo and 3PO. And they really have captured the Star Wars type humor in this show. And I'm going to give a big thanks to Kathleen Kennedy. Can you believe it? But everybody rags on Kathleen Kennedy when they don't like something, or they don't like part of a movie, but they don't give her credit when credit's due. And I'm going to give Kathleen Kennedy the credit for hiring Jon Favreau, liking his plans for the show, teaming up with Dave Filoni. I think they work together and everything. So let's see another scene here. Let's run it up some so I can kind of see what else. Kind of want to talk about each scene. So spending a night together with his Baby Yoda, the Mandalorian heads back to his ship to find it's been taken apart. Somebody's been taking pieces of this thing. And who likes to take pieces? Jawas. Well, I guess Tusken Raiders kind of like to. They took parts of Luke's land speeder. But here they are. They've taken apart the Mandalorian ship. Used it for parts. I don't know why they just didn't take the whole ship. But I guess they don't want a whole ship. Do they even fly ships? Anyway, the Jawas in their Sandcrawler took apart the Mandalorian ship, and it's up to the Mandalorian to get it back. He chases after the Jawas in their Sandcrawler, and we get the best action scene I've seen in a Star Wars movie, and I don't know how long. If you ever dreamed of seeing someone chase down a moving Sandcrawler, throwing Jawas off of it, shooting Jawas, beating up Jawas, or Jawas fighting other people, this is what you've been waiting for. I mean, like I said, this is what I visioned in my head when I was 10 or 11 on the floor playing with my Jawa Sandcrawler, my Jawa figures, and my Boba Fett figure and everything, having them shoot out and fight. This was what was in my head, seeing something like this. So it was amazing. It was like everything I thought of, all my dreams of the child, on the screen, on TV. It was amazing. Now, we've seen the Sandcrawler moving around in this a lot more than we did in any other movie, so it was very great to see a Sandcrawler in real action. And the Mandalorian's climbing up it. There's little compartments that open up, and Jawas look out, throw things at him, trying to knock him off. And he finally makes his way to the top of the Sandcrawler, and he gets shot, falls right off ground, loses. The Sandcrawler keeps going. The Jawa's like, ooh, dee dee, and laughing at him and everything. It's a great action scene. And after all that, it just falls off of it. So that was great. Let me run it up to the next scene here. Okay, he gets back to his ship. It's been gutted, so there's nothing there. He tries to start it, which you can look at and tell it's not going to start. I think all his weapons are gone also. That's something later. They don't never say if he got his weapons back. But you remember on the chapter 1, the other alien guy opens the door and all the guns and everything's right there. And it looks like he opens the door here and all that's gone. But I never hear him mention his weapons being returned to him. He makes his way back to the Nick Nolte character. I forget his name. Klondike bar or something. I think he's an Ugnaught. Again, I'm not good at guessing aliens. He looks like an Ugnaught to me. But I heard someone say he's not an Ugnaught. But I'm going to call him Nick Nolte the Ugnaught, which is another great character. I love this character. Glad we see him again. At the end of this, it kind of hints that we won't see him anymore, but I hope, and I think we will. We'll see him. If not in this, I think we'll see him in season 2, and I hope we see him again in this season. Really love this character. The voice matches him perfectly. Nick Nolte's voice for this character is great. Looks kind of like Nick Nolte, although it's a little small guy. They must have molded the mask or something to look kind of like Nick Nolte. Not nothing against Nick Nolte, but hey, that's Nick Nolte. He goes back to get him, and then we get a great scene of little Yoda walking around. I wasn't sure if he could walk, but he can walk, and he's playing with this frog, and the Mandalorian tells him, put that frog down, and what's he do? He eats the whole frog. Puts it in his mouth. I love Baby Yoda. Where can I get a... I don't need you anymore. I want Baby Yoda. I want a Baby Yoda right there. I want a Baby Yoda right now. I want a baby Hasbro. Where's my Baby Yoda? Black Series Yoda. Black Series Baby Yoda. Gotta have it. So Nick Nolte's character tells the Mandalorian if he wants his parts back to get his ship working, he's gonna have to trade something with the Jawas. They're kind of like the Ferengi, I guess. So the Nick Nolte character takes the Mandalorian to meet these Jawas. I guess he kind of knows them, probably has a reputation with them and everything. Tells the Mandalorian, hey, put your gun down. Mandalorian's like, no, I'm not going to put my gun up. I'm a Mandalorian. That's part of my religion. But he talks him into it. That way the Jawas could trust him a little bit. I mean, after all, he did kill some of their friends. So he puts his weapon up. I think then he has a side gun. And they're like, hey, watch out. He's still got a gun. Really Western feel here. And he puts the other gun up and they bargain. He doesn't have much to trade with the Jawas, and you get some you get some good Jawas back and forth. You actually hear the Mandalorian and the Nick Nolte character, but you hear the Mandalorian speaking a Jawa language. This is pretty cool. So what's the Mandalorian going to trade? He really has nothing. Everything on his ship of value is gone. So what's he going to trade to get his parts back to start the ship? Well, first they want Baby Yoda, and he can't give up Baby Yoda. That's his whole reason for the bounty. He needs Baby Yoda. So what else do they ask for? Well, they asked for the egg. They would trade his parts back to him for the egg. And at first I was like, what's the egg? And I thought they meant that thing that Baby Yoda was in. I was like, okay, this is goofy. Why do they want that? Well, they are Jawas. I figured they could take it, sell it for parts or whatever. But then I found out I was wrong. It wasn't about that. What is the egg? Well, the Mandalorian goes into a cave to find the egg. And it's the egg laid by that creature. I don't know this guy's name either, but he looks like a rhinoceros kind of. And I think he was in the battle scene for Attack of the Clones. That's where we first saw him at. Remember when they're all tied up at the end? Obi-Wan, Padme, and what's the other guy's name? Anakin Skywalker. Remember when they were tied up in Attack of the Clones and these three creatures come out? One of them has a big rhino horn on it. That creature is in this cave here, and he has an egg, which has hair all over it. So the Mandalorian has to fight him, and we get another cool scene of the Mandalorian fighting, and it doesn't look like CGI. Again, I'm impressed by the special effects here. They look better than a lot of stuff I see in the movies. The Mandalorian kicks his butt, throws him into some mud, and we got a muddy Mandalorian. Hey, Hasbro, give me a muddy Mandalorian action figure too. It looked pretty cool with the mud all over him. So he's fighting this creature, getting his butt kicked by him. Nothing he does seems to work. So this creature puts his horn down, starts charging at the Mandalorian, and then he stops, being held back by the Force, lifts up off the ground. The Mandalorian's like, what's going on here? Somebody's using the Force on this thing, but I don't think the Mandalorian even knows what the Force is. He's like, what's going on? This thing just froze and lifted up in the air. And he turns to see little Baby Yoda, using the Force on it. And it looks like it takes a lot of energy out from him. And he's like a baby. And I don't know if he had any training or not. I guess he's going to have training, or everybody on the internet's going to call him a Mary Sue baby. Well, anyway, he uses the Force on him. So the Mandalorian's like, what? What's the Force? What's going on here? But then the Baby Yoda drops in, and the weakest part of this whole episode is that the Mandalorian walks up to this creature thing, takes out this little knife, like it's about this big, stabs it in the creature and kills it after all that fighting with him, even shooting him with fire from his wrist, which I did bring up. He actually burns a Jawa in this. Can you believe it? Yeah, he uses the flamethrower on his arm to burn a Jawa. Anyway, he stabs this creature while it's laying down and kills it instantly almost. It's a little far-fetched, being this thing was so huge and so powerful, he just stabs it with a knife. But maybe the Mandalorian knows right where to stab it, right in his neck, right at a special place where it would bleed to death or something. But I think they should have made the knife of something a little better, or something to make it a little more believable that he killed this big old thing with a little pocket knife. But anyway, he gets the hairy egg and he heads back to the Jawas and Nick Nolte's character to return it. When he's getting there, the Jawas about to give up. They're closing the door on the Sandcrawler and thinking he's taking too long. He must be dead by this creature. But no, the Mandalorian shows up. The Jawas come out of the Sandcrawler. They're excited. They got their egg. He trades it to them. What do? They cut it open. There's this yellow gook inside. They start pulling out, start eating it. All of them run over there all excited. They got their egg. I guess they love to eat this egg thing. I don't know why. It looks disgusting. I wouldn't eat it unless maybe scrambled it and put some cheese on it. But the Jawas are happy. They give him his parts to the ship, and the Mandalorian, Baby Yoda, and the Nick Nolte Ugnaught head back home, or to Ugnaught's place, whatever it is. Now, off screen, it seems that the Mandalorian did tell the Ugnaught, Nick Nolte, about the Yoda using the Force on it, but I don't think he said the Force. It seems the Mandalorian can't really explain what happened. He doesn't really understand what's going on. So I don't think the Mandalorian really knows about the Force, which I'm guessing is about right. I mean, he's probably what, mid-30s maybe, so he probably didn't live through the whole Jedi Order thing because he would have been a lot older. But I'm sure he had to have heard about the Force. Maybe he just hadn't connected the two together yet. But he got his parts to the ship so he can get it started again. But he's like, this is too much. It's going to take forever. How am I going to get this thing running? It's going to take forever to put all these parts back together. But him and Ugnaught and Ugnaught team up together, do a montage of them being buddies. They're friends now. They're putting it all hanging up and getting the ship running. The ship's back normal. It's working fine. But they get the ship running. They get it all back together. The bounty hunter offers to give Ugnaught some money for helping him, saying when he gets the bounty, he'll give him some of the bounty money off it. But he's like, no, you're my guest, and this is what I do for my guest. I have spoken. And then he goes on about his way. And they say bye to each other, but I hope they see each other again because I really love this character. So the Mandalorian gets in his ship. He got the baby Yoda behind him. He kind of looks at him and he sees Yoda sleeping in it. I know he's not Yoda. He sees baby Yoda sleeping in it, and he looks at him. And I guess he's kind of trying to, in his head, what is going on? What is the deal with this thing? How can it do this? And he starts his ship up, and in the background we see the baby Yoda waking up, and he sits up, and it goes to credits. Again, this runs about 30 minutes, so it's just a little small episode like all these. I think all of them's going to be 30 minutes, I've heard. But again, I like that. I like that they're 30 minutes. I like that they're each little stories. And this one was great. This one was great for the action. The action is amazing in this one. Check it out. You'll love the action. You'll love it. I mean, you never thought you would see a Boba Fett-like character fighting Jawas, burning Jawas, beating up Jawas, throwing Jawas off a Sandcrawler. Oh. I just couldn't believe it. I loved Chapter 1, and it was a lot of fun. But this one was so much fun. I cannot wait. Now, we're not going to get another episode until next Friday. We're going to have to wait a whole week. Oh, I need them all right this second. But anyway, that's my look at The Mandalorian, kind of run down the whole episode. Again, let me know if you like these. I'll do one for each episode or chapter. I'll run down each one, but really love this. Let me know, too, what you think about this episode or this chapter. I keep saying episode of The Mandalorian. Did you like it? And what did you think about Baby Yoda? Wasn't that the cutest damn thing you ever seen? It's just so cute. Oh, I want to punch it. It's so cute. Oh, thank you for watching. Please thumb up this video so I know you like it, and I'll do more of them. And please, subscribe to the channel. It's just a click away. That's it. Fred, take us out of here.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.